And like around that time when you got your record deal, were you doing gigs around? Or?
Yeah, oh yeah, we were. Yeah. You know, the industry is so different these days.
Yeah, because you used to be able to do lots of gigs then and make a living out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, making a living.
Making, you know, some kind of,
Yeah, I think, you know, I might have been lucky to get $80 a week. It was, you know, we were on rice and beans, you know, it was pretty tough.
And what kind of...
That's why I was so skinny back then.
What kind of places were you playing around?
Everywhere. We were playing, there was a joint in the northern suburbs called Bombay Rock. We used to play there.
My sister used to go there.
Oh, it was an awesome place. It was like one of the bigger gigs in Melbourne back in the old days.
That's in St Kilda, isn't it?
No, it's in, excuse me, it was in Brunswick, just off Sydney Road.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, towards the city end of Sydney Road.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
St Kilda, we used to play at the venue, but also a little venue upstairs and next to the venue called Bananas, which was huge. We used to play with all sorts of acts. They'd stick you with, here was a band that we were rock, but we were alluding to, you know, new wave kind of vibe, but probably more on the rock edge. And they were sticking us with Rose Tattoo.
Oh.
You know, Rose Tattoo would come in and they'd blow the place apart, which was great, but it seemed like a strange thing.
But the Rose Tattoo, were the Rose Tattoo audience kind of hostile towards?
Oh, no, they weren't hostile. No, they were actually pretty good. The band was scary though. They all looked like bikers, you know, massively rough. Looked like they'd rip your head off. You know, here we were poncing around with eyeliner and, you know.
Big hair.
And big hair, yeah.
And in the early 80s, like, the sound of geisha that started was, as you said, new wave influence.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
With a bit of an
I sort
edge.
of dropped away the Beatle influence at that time.
Yep.
You know, I had a girlfriend that put me onto The Cure. And also the Specials and all sorts of bands of
British
from ska.
Yeah,
exactly right. And at first I just couldn't get it, but I persevered with it, listened to it, and I finally understood what she liked about it.
Okay.
And so that sort of made me look in a new direction, which was great. It made me think about writing in a new direction as well. And by the time we started this whole geisha thing, my writing was influenced by all sorts of bands like the Machinations. I used to go to see the Machinations a lot, you know, and they were awesome. They used to have this big dance sound when they didn't have a drummer at this stage. It was just dance machine. A drum machine. And so there's all, you know, in that Geisha first album, there's bits of that, there's bits of that, there's a little bit of the fix here, there's a little bit of that, you know. And, you know, everyone has influences, you know.
Yeah, the fix
mine was sort of pulled from all sorts of areas. They were awesome. Awesome band.
Stand or Falls, I could see.
They reckon the singer had the longest thumbs in rock and roll.
Oh, really?
I don't even know why that's important, but that's part of the publicity.
Okay, cool. And when you first went on Countdown, do you remember that? And was it exciting?
It was exciting. The thing was with Countdown, we weren't Countdown darlings. Like Pseudos were picked up before
Molly.
they had a deal.
Yeah.
And Kids in the Kitchen were very close with Molly. We weren't that close, but they played all our clips, and because we were charting, it'd be there, sort of here and there, all over on Countdown. And we didn't actually get on Countdown live until our third single with Kabuki.
Kabuki, yeah, that's right. Why was that?
I don't know. I'm not sure why.
Okay,
as I said, we weren't darlings, you know, like. And there was a lot of stuff that had to get on Countdown, but they were playing our clips, so that was great.
Yeah, because I did play Rainy Day quite a lot.
Heaps, even though it didn't chart as high.
Yeah, that's really weird. I was always thinking, why didn't you guys get?
I'll tell you what I think it was,
studio?
And I hope Carl doesn't hate me for this. Carl Steinberg produced our first 2 video clips.
Okay.
And Carl Steinberg was a good friend of Molly's and worked at Countdown as a director. And just before he came to work with us on these clips, I think they had a falling out. Now, you know, this might not be the case at all, but, you know, I'm just sort of wondering why, you know, they never put us on until Kabuki, which was the first song that Carl didn't direct. So all of a sudden we were on the show. So I don't know. I mean, do you know Carl at all? Carl Steinberg? But you obviously know Molly. Maybe you can find out.
I've interviewed Molly. I've seen him a few times. He pops up around everywhere, really, doesn't he?
Oh, he's all over the place.
Bless him. Yeah. Okay, because I thought it was quite weird because Molly used to always, even like with Pseudo Echo, like they were unsigned and they were put on Countdown.
That's right.
Even so,
he's very supportive of the Australian industry. But you know, I mean, it seemed like when we got on, it was because we were charting high. Okay. So we
that first performance of Kabuki, they did the long.
They did great stuff.
Like Fabric with the
whole geisha face,
that was really good.
You know, the warrior face, and
they always had great sets on Countdown.
Fantastic sets. And I don't know, the other guys must have told you the wait on the day that we recorded.
Okay.
You'd be in there at like
For
7:30.
hours
Oh,
in the back room.
It's a long day.
What, 7:30 in the morning?
Sometimes, yeah.
Wow. And what time would they shoot?
You'd be rehearsing all day, so they wouldn't start shooting until the show went. Well, it wasn't live, but they'd recorded it.
Yeah, pre-recorded it. Yeah.
And but you'd be in the studio all day recording, so it was good fun. But what a long day.
Okay.
And later, '86 when we were back in there and doing some stuff, with
I think you did. I think your next one was Part-Time Life Affair.
It was, yeah. I think we'd get drunk. By the time we went on stage, it wasn't good.
I've heard that a lot of people I've interviewed are like they just drink because they were so bored that they
That's
just
right.
sat in
Well, the rooms
background.
weren't like Channel 9 or Channel 7 where they'd have monitors where you could watch something, or these best. They looked like change rooms at a gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We just weren't famous enough. That's the problem.
Right, now, Peter Dawkins produced the first album.
He did.
He also produced Pseudo Echo's Listening
He
as
did,
well. Now,
that's
how
right.
did you get? He was pretty hot at the time as a producer.
Well, he was. He'd
Yeah.
been pretty hot since the late '70s. He'd won lots of awards for his work with Dragon and My Sex and all sorts of acts.
Oh, did you do My Sex as well?
He did.
Oh, cool.
He won an award for the one of their albums. I can't remember. In fact, it was on the Rage the other night, a couple of weeks ago, and I saw him accepting his award. And because My Sex weren't there to pick it up, they were in America or something. But no, Peter was enlisted, and I asked specifically for him. The difficulty was that he was CEO of EMI at the time. So the bigwigs at EMI originally said there was a conflict of interest for him to be producing and being a CEO, which was initially an issue for him to do Pseudo Echo as well.
Oh, really?
And I think even though he produced Listening, I think it was supposed to be a secret or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Brian mentioned that to you. Because I think if you look at the single, I don't know whether it says Peter Dawkins on it, producer.
Oh, okay.
Have a look next time you see it.
It's not very highlighted, actually. I think it's, Okay.
And Peter was a big name. But I also thought, here's a good chance. I love his production, and if he produces, we've got an album. Because at this stage we still had a single deal. And of course we did, and Peter produced the album, and he was very, very much a father figure. And we needed a father figure. We were rat bags, running around causing havoc. It was very hard to tie us down and make us work hard in the studio, but he did. He did a really admirable job.